Communication efficiency. Efficient communications. My name is Kwame Ofori, and I would be proud to be your Vice President of Communications, if so elected. It's like we're still waiting for things to start up here. But I will go into my presentation. Communication effectiveness. How many of you know the story of the marathon? No one knows the story of the marathon. There was a war between the Greeks and the Persians many years ago. What happened was the Greeks won a huge battle at Marathon. And the only way to get the communication back to Athens to tell the leaders that they had won was to send Phidippides, the messenger right here, back to Athens 26.2 miles, or exactly 25 miles in those areas. Now what happened was Phidippides got a little tired, sent the message, got there, and died. Now we want our communication methods to be more effective than that. So that's Phidippides, the marathon run. You ran 25 miles, marathon Athens. And communication, the endpoint, should be efficient, not exhausting. That's my aim as Vice President of Communication, if so elected. That brings me to 6 points of efficiency. Our first point is review the past committee actions. Our past committee actions of public relations. We want to be able to go over the things that worked well as the things that didn't work well, and improve upon those. Secondly, we want to recruit a pool of ULYP STL communications talent. Now, we have a lot of talented people in this room. We have a lot of talented people outside this room. We're going to find the best people who are knowledgeable in technology and knowledgeable in public relations, and work on a team together in order to improve our branding as well as our efficiency in terms of communication. Thirdly, you want to streamline those traditional and electronic communication. This means business cards, this means flyers, this means emails, this means LinkedIn, this means Facebook. All these should come from a central location, not necessarily from 3 or 4 or 5 different people who post things at different times. So we want to improve on that. Fourthly, educate ULYP membership on these communication tools. What good is a communication tool if only one person knows how to use it and the other person doesn't? That's why I want us as YP members to all be educated on the communication tools that we're going to be using in order to inform you of upcoming events as well as opportunities professionally as well as community service-wise. Fifthly, we want to enhance publicity for major ULYP programs. We want to use our connections, networks, and otherwise in order to be able to publicize things like Young Blacks Give Back, etc. And sixthly, we want to research better two-way communication between stakeholders. We want feedback from you. So we're going to find ways, technology-wise, to do that. My name is Kwame Ofori, and I would be proud to serve as your communications chair, if so elected. Thank you.
Okay, we will take questions for Kwame. Yes, Rob.
Hi, Terrell.
Okay, Kwame, you've served on leadership positions on other boards in the St. Louis community as well as run for positions in this organization as well. Regarding adversity and communications, what have you learned in the past 2 years as far as dealing with multiple personalities that have different communication methods that you think will make you feel qualified for this position?
That's a very good question, Terrell. Thank you. I'd have to say, as director of the City Forum, which is a nonprofit organization which is intended to facilitate town halls for nonprofits, I've learned to deal with a number of experts, many of whom had different opinions in regards to these town halls. Dealing with multiple personalities is something that I've done for years now. I've also served on the membership committee. I've also served on the public relations committee. I've also served on the resource committee. And we've had all types of different personalities, whether they be type A or type B. So I feel like I'm very well qualified to deal with those, as well as to understand where people are coming from and engage them in their ideas in order to produce an effective communication board.
Next question.
Barry. Yes, Barry.
What would you do to change our visibility in the St. Louis community?
I think one of my #1 implementations, would be to use business cards. Further enhance the use of our business cards in order to tell people how to find out more about UOYP-STL. If we have, say, 6 bullet points on the back of a business card, perhaps have that sponsored by a corporate organization to pay for it, we can pass those out to members, have that paid for, and go ahead and have people come to us for the information on UOYP. So that's one example. Secondly, I would also like to enhance our presence on things such as Twitter, such as Facebook, such as LinkedIn, such as Pinterest, such as some of the upcoming social networks that may not be established yet, but are still very effective in communication.
Thank you, Kwame.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next candidate